I have made an account insights tracker for you. This is essentially a spreadsheet. It's just a spreadsheet that will help you to be able to monitor and track your account insights across Instagram and other platforms if you want to, so that you can see the numbers, so that you can be looking at your marketing numbers and seeing what's working and maybe what's not. So let me show you what I've put together. It's a very simple Google Sheets document file. When you first open it, this first tab here is called How to Use Insights. So if you've never looked at your insights before, or you don't know how to find them, I've given you some little step-by-step bits here. Something to note is that when you go into the app and you click the three little lines at the top right-hand corner, and you go into your insights, in your settings, you go into your insights. By default, it usually shows you the last 7 days. For this, we're going to be looking at it on a monthly basis. So probably the first thing you need to do is change that drop down from last 7 days to last 30 days, just so that we are looking at these insights on a monthly basis. I don't think it's necessary to track them any more regular than that. Monthly is fine. So make sure that you're looking at it for the last 30 days. It will give you an overview of accounts reached, accounts engaged, and total followers. And then you can click into each of those to break it down a little bit more into individual pieces of content, into content interactions, impressions, and we can break it down like that. So it will look a little bit like this. And there's two key parts here. There is the actual number that they give you. So for accounts reached, there is a number there. And underneath there is a percentage. And the percentage is green if it's gone up compared to the previous 30 days. And I think it will be black. It won't be red. I think it will be black if it has stayed the same or it has decreased since the previous one. I always talk to my members and clients about our green numbers, and this is what I refer to. So it's not necessarily the actual number that we're looking at, although that is good to track, and we will be using that on our tracker. It's the percentage that can show progress. So if we focus on whether our numbers are green or not, that shows whether they've gone up compared to the previous month. So it's important to know what that means. So just looking at this one here, let's zoom in for a second. So this one here says accounts reached 7,928. So that's the actual number. And that has gone up 17% since the previous 30 days that I did this. But my accounts engaged, the amount of people who are engaged and interacting with my content was 302, and that was down by 2.6%. So some months your numbers are going to go up, some months your numbers are going to go down. This is the whole point of tracking it, so that you can start to see some patterns and that you can find progress when maybe you don't feel like there's progress, or you feel like things maybe are not working, they're not landing. We've always got to look at the numbers to see whether that is true. So that's on the first page there. And just at the bottom here, there is a breakdown of what actually all those insights mean. So followers is quite self-explanatory, the number of accounts you've got in your audience, but accounts reached, engaged, content interactions, impressions, that gives you a definition there of what actually that means. What does that number tell us? And then I've got profile visits and website taps as well. So that's at the bottom, just so you can refer to it. On the other tab is your tracker. So this is just a very simple table, like a regular spreadsheet, that you've got those key metrics down one side and you've got all the months along the top. So when you start to do this, I would change month 1 to whatever month you are starting this and track them month by month. It doesn't take very long. It takes about 5 minutes to open up the app, find these, go into Insights and find these key things, fill them in on here, and just make a little note to do it again at the end of the following month. I usually remind everybody when it's the 1st or the 2nd of the month. I'm like, everybody go and check your insights. What green numbers have you got? Update your tracker. I'll give you a reminder. But after a couple of months, what you will start to see, ideally, is the numbers going up. If you've been marketing and sharing content, growing your audience, you'll see these numbers go up. But sometimes you might not see the numbers go up. Sometimes the numbers might go down. And it's always worth noting down, like I've added this extra row here for notes. It's always worth noting down if there's anything that's happened that month that may have affected the numbers. So, for example, is there anything that you did that was differently online, offline? Did you have a big launch or a special promotion that might have affected the numbers? Did you take a break? Were you on holiday? Were you not posting for any kind of reason? If you jot that down in the notes, that can help to explain whether the numbers are up or down or sideways and put a bit of context to them. I always find that mine dip in the summer when I take time off over August, and they always dip in December when I take time off. And they always go up when I'm launching something, which really helps me kind of, when I'm looking at numbers over a whole year, it helps me have confidence that when the numbers are down, they're going to come back up again. And all that effort that I've put into extra content, being visible, putting myself out there, growing my audience, I can see it in the numbers. And then when I stop doing that, the numbers go down. And I then have confidence of knowing that I have control over my numbers. So when you start to fill this in, you start to see the patterns, you will hopefully be reassured that everything that you're doing is moving you in the right direction. But even if the numbers are down, that there'll be a reason for it and that you have control over changing that. So I want to show you just very quickly my one that I have been filling in for the last 2-ish years. So this is where I am right now. This is 2023 to 24. I've also put on here my email stats as well, so that I like looking at them on the same spreadsheet. You might want to have them on separate tabs or separate files, but I would say that whatever channels and platforms you are using, to track them in some way, even if it is just the basic numbers of how many people are in there and how many people are seeing it, that kind of stuff. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pop back to the first one because I think this is really interesting for people to see. So this is when I first started, when I first launched my business, middle of 2021. I had 240 followers. I had 6 people on my email list. And I was like, okay, these numbers are small. I'm new. But the point is that every month you look at them, you fill them in, you see your progress. You see the numbers go up, you see the numbers go down, you see the numbers go up. Over time, you see the numbers increase. And this is where I can get confidence in what I'm doing, because I've got these numbers to back me up, to show that what I'm doing is moving the needle and it is increasing and people are seeing it and more people are seeing it. So that is why I remind everyone and I say, are you tracking them? Have you filled in your tracker? Because it can then tell you lots and lots of things. So like looking at this, for example, accounts reached. The first couple of months I was on the 2,000 mark. In October, it's jumped up to 9,000. What did I do in October that suddenly meant the accounts that I reached, that number was so much higher than previously? Well, if I put a little bit of context in my notes section, that's when I did a hashtag challenge with somebody else. So in that collaborative project enabled me to get in front of more people. It's only when you can see it like this, I think, that you can go, okay. So if I want to increase my reach, if I want to do something like that again, I know working with somebody else on a collaborative project will help to increase my reach. I've seen it in my numbers. I know it works. It gives you that confidence. Again, the same in June. That's fairly high for me. If I scroll down to look at the context, that's when I did a 14 days of Reels challenge. So I would have expected or hoped my reach would have really improved the month that I decided to really focus on sharing Reels and sharing 14 Reels in 14 days. I can see that that effort that I put in with my content has translated into extra reach, and I can see that in the numbers. So I am a big kind of number person, tracker, stats person, because I think it backs it up. You may feel differently about your content when you post it because it's yours and you're in it. But the numbers are kind of objective. The numbers are there in black and white to tell you, yes, it worked, or no, it didn't, or we don't know yet. So tracking the numbers is really, really important. And I encourage you as a new member or an existing member, if you haven't started this, let me come out of this. If you haven't been tracking them, I would open this up now and make a start wherever you are in the year, whatever month you're starting on, make a start on it, because the numbers do tell you more information than you feel about your own content. And they really can reassure you and give you confidence in what you're doing. It can also help you forward plan. I know now that working collaboratively with someone else on a project massively helps my reach, massively helps my account grow. So I can repeat that if I want to see those results. So that's your overview of your tracker. Go and download it, make a copy for yourself, and start to fill those numbers in every month to be able to see your progress. And then I usually remind everybody at the start of the month to go and fill in their tracker, check their insights, share your green numbers, so you can come and share it with us in our group, and see the progress that you're making and progress that everyone's making. Okay. Any questions at all, feel free to pop it in the Facebook group or drop me a message, and I'll see you soon. Bye.